Days after promising the U.S. restraint, Zelensky resumes strikes on Russia's Black Sea port. Russian child killed in Kyiv's latest assault as Zelensky risks provoking a furious Putin response? Why has Zelensky returned to bombing Novorossiysk despite U.S. pressure to halt attacks? Trump administration urged Zelensky to stop attacks as Ukraine's strikes threaten a growing oil crisis. Zelensky's Black Sea strikes hit Russia's energy lifeline, but could America's allies pay the price? Ukrainian drones struck Novorossiysk, one of Russia's biggest Black Sea ports, on August 11, according to Reuters. The overnight attack lasted for more than 5 hours as Russian forces attempted to intercept the incoming drones, Mayor Andrei Kravchenko said. Several buildings and a bread processing plant were damaged during the assault on the strategically important port city, Reuters reported. Russian officials later said the attack killed a child and injured 8 people, according to Krasnodar Governor Veniamin Kondratyev. 4 enterprises and more than 24 residential buildings were also reportedly damaged in the widespread overnight drone attack. The strikes came as Kyiv intensified its campaign against Russian energy, logistics and port infrastructure across the Black Sea. Ukraine has increasingly targeted facilities it says help Moscow generate resources and sustain its military operations in the ongoing war. Recent drone attacks have also disrupted oil shipments moving through the Caspian Pipeline Consortium route, creating wider concerns for regional energy flows. Sources cited by Reuters said CPC oil loadings fell by as much as a fifth in July following disruptions linked to the attacks. Kazakhstan also recorded a sharp decline in oil production as the disruption affected a major export route carrying crude to global markets. Western energy companies, including Chevron and ExxonMobil, have operations connected to the strategically important pipeline route. Ukraine's repeated Black Sea oil attacks have now forced Kyiv into a carefully negotiated, US-brokered shipping carve-out. Under the new understanding, Ukraine has agreed to spare select non-Russian tankers along with the Caspian Pipeline Consortium's critical export infrastructure. This pledge followed direct, high-level talks between senior US and Ukrainian officials after a wave of July strikes brought loadings at the terminal to a complete halt. Kyiv has now set up dedicated contact channels so commercial shipping companies can coordinate safe passage in advance, rather than risk being caught in the crossfire. Recent Ukrainian attacks on Russian oil ports had also inadvertently struck ships operating near critical CPC facilities. These strikes disrupted oil loadings as nervous shipowners grew increasingly wary of calling at the port of Novorossiysk. This pressure mounted even as Iran war disruptions were already curbing oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz separately. Higher crude costs also fed directly into rising US pump prices ahead of November's critical midterm elections. But why is the CPC terminal important? This single terminal handles about 2% of the entire world's crude oil supply, making it far more consequential than its size suggests. It serves as the main export artery for the vast majority of Kazakhstan's total oil exports. Kazakhstan currently lacks any major alternative export capacity beyond this single critical pipeline route. European refiners lean heavily on this specific CPC blend crude to keep their own supply chains running. The terminal itself is physically located at Novorossiysk, sitting right on Russia's Black Sea coast, which is exactly why it kept getting caught in Ukrainian strikes meant for Russian assets. Under the terms of the deal, Ukraine will avoid CPC infrastructure entirely, along with any non-Russian vessel that meets a specific set of conditions. Ukrainian drones reportedly struck an S-400 launcher position near Putin's Black Sea residence, escalating pressure on Russia's air defenses. The S-400 system was reportedly positioned about 12 miles from the luxury complex near Zelensky, according to The Guardian. Ukraine's unmanned systems commander said the launcher continued burning for hours after the reported drone strike. The S-400 position was reportedly part of a wider air defense network deployed to protect the high-security residence. The luxury complex is surrounded by a large security buffer and covered by a permanent no-fly zone, according to reports. Ukraine claimed the launcher had also been repurposed to fire missiles against Ukrainian cities during Russia's war. The reported strike comes as Russia faces mounting pressure on its air defense network across multiple areas of the battlefield. Missile experts said Russia has increasingly relied on other air defense systems to supplement its ballistic missile campaign. The strikes also highlight Ukraine's growing ability to reach high-value Russian military targets far beyond the front line. Ukrainian intelligence separately reported strikes on 2 Russian S-400 launchers located in occupied Crimea. Kyiv said the Crimea strikes also destroyed an antenna reportedly used to control Russian Orion drone operations. The reported losses could represent tens of millions of dollars in advanced Russian military equipment. The attacks come as Ukraine's long-range drone campaign against Russian territory becomes increasingly frequent and ambitious. More than 450 drones were reportedly launched toward Russian territory during a major overnight attack on August 10. The escalating drone campaign is designed to put fresh pressure on Moscow as the war continues to grind on. A Russian S-400 position that had launched 6 missiles at Ukraine reportedly went up in flames after a Ukrainian drone attack, with Ukrainian officials saying the site burned for around 3 hours. Ukraine's unmanned systems forces struck a Russian S-400 Triumph air defense position, according to Defense Blog, as part of a wider operation that reportedly hit other Russian air defense assets and Black Sea vessels. The targeted S-400 system had reportedly carried out 6 missile launches against Ukraine on the day before the strike, turning the drone operation into a direct response against an active Russian firing position. Reports placed the S-400 system near the Black Sea resort town of Zelensky in Russia's Krasnodar region, an area that sits close to key Russian military infrastructure on the country's southern coast. Details of the Ukrainian attack were reported by Defense Blog on August 9, citing claims from Ukraine's unmanned systems forces and their commander Robert Madjar-Bravdi.
Я дякую сьогодні Збройним силам і Службі безпеки України. Продовжується операція щодо російської нафтопереробки. Це дуже відчутно для них. Були також ураження російських ЗРК та радіолокаційних станцій. Були наші відповіді по російській інфраструктурі в Азовському і Чорноморському регіонах. Єдина причина, чому це досі триває, це російське небажання війну цю закінчувати. На тижні будуть нові контакти наші з посередниками саме по тих кроках і тих пропозиціях, які необхідні. Україна завжди активна в дипломатії. Будуть нові контакти заради пакетів для ППО, для захисту нашої держави, наших людей. Ще одне, що б не відбувалось, ми пам'ятаємо, все тримається на стійкості наших підрозділів, наших воїнів на фронті. За цей тиждень є за що відзначити нашу 14-ту бригаду Нацгвардії, яка воює в районах Добропілля. Дякую, воїни. Костянтинівський напрямок, 100-та окрема механізована бригада. Дякую вам. Краматорський напрямок, дякую 24-й окремій механізованій бригаді. І також в районах активних дій ДШВ. Дякую 79-й окремій десантно-штурмовій бригаді. Молодці воїни. І кожному дякую, хто захищає нашу державу, захищає наші позиції, усім, хто пам'ятає, що доля України, української незалежності вирішується тим внеском, який кожен з нас реально вкладає в захист України, в підтримку тих, хто поруч. Дбаємо про Україну. Слава Україні!
The S-400 Triumph is widely regarded as one of Russia's most advanced long-range air defense systems, designed to engage aircraft, cruise missiles, and some ballistic missile threats, making the reported destruction of a launcher a notable setback for Moscow's Black Sea air defense network. The S-400 Triumph originated in Russia and remains one of the country's principal long-range air defense systems, designed and produced by the Almazanty defense industry. Russia is the primary operator of the S-400, deploying it to protect strategic sites and military formations against a wide range of aerial threats, including aircraft, drones, cruise missiles, and certain ballistic missiles. The system is classed as a surface-to-air missile platform, meaning it is built to detect, track, and destroy hostile targets in the air rather than attack ground targets directly. The S-400 is mobile and ground-based, with launchers, command vehicles, and radars mounted on heavy-wheeled vehicles that can relocate and become combat-ready within minutes. Its missile family includes the 48N6, which carries a 143-kilogram high-explosive fragmentation warhead, as well as the 77N6 interceptor, which is intended to destroy ballistic targets through direct hit-to-kill impact. Depending on the missile used, The S-400 can engage aerodynamic targets at ranges of roughly 250 to 400 kilometers, while its stated anti-ballistic missile interception range is up to 60 kilometers. The S-400 is operational and remains a central component of Russia's layered national air defense network, with systems deployed across multiple strategic regions and military districts. It has been in Russian military service since 2007 and continues to receive new missile types, radar upgrades, and deployments as Moscow expands its long-range air defense capabilities. Losing even one S-400 battery matters because the system is a core part of Russia's long-range, layered air defense network, and its removal can force Moscow to redeploy coverage from elsewhere.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.